Welcome geometry students to the homework help video, page 64, numbers 8 through 22, 28 through 30. I will go fast, of course, and if you need to slow it down, just pause the video or back it up. Let's go ahead and start with number 8. In your book, we're looking first at section 8 through 13. In this section, they want you, first of all, QS is always going to be an angle bisector for numbers 8 through 13. And they want us to find the measurement of these little angles. So here we go. QS cuts this big angle right here, right in half. And by the way, this big angle is 50 degrees, not this little angle. This 50 is referring to the whole angle. So if the whole angle is 50, then that means this little angle right here has to be 25 degrees. And this little angle here has to be 25 degrees. It's that easy. It's a piece of cake. You take 50 and cut it in half because the whole angle is 50, and Ray QS divides the big angle into two equal angles. Okay, number 9. This whole angle right here, this whole angle is 108 degrees. And so what they want us to do is they want us to find the measurement of this little angle here and this little angle here. So we'll take 108 and we'll cut it in half. And this little angle here is 54 degrees. And this little angle right here is 54 degrees. Thus the whole angle is 108. Number 10, same thing. The entire whole angle right here is 124 degrees. And QS cuts that angle right in half. So if we want to find the measure of the two little angles, this angle here and this angle here, we'll take 124 and we'll divide it in half. And that means this angle here is 62 degrees. And this angle here is 62 degrees. And there we go. Moving on to number 11. Okay, the entire angle is 67, and QS cuts that right in half. And so with that in mind, I'm going to take 67 and divide it in 2. And that means I will get 33.5 degrees for this angle here. And this little angle down here will also be 33.5. Moving on to number 12. Okay, this whole angle right here all the way across, the whole angle is 75 degrees. QS cuts that angle right in half. They tell us that in the directions. And so they want us to find the measurement of this little angle here and this little angle here. So we're going to take 75, we're going to cut it in half, and we'll get 37.5 degrees for this angle and 37.5 degrees for this angle here. Okay, moving on to number 13. The whole angle is 91. The whole angle is 91. And QS cuts that 91 right in half. And so what they want us to do is they want us to find the measurement of this little angle here and this little angle here. So we're going to take 91 and we're going to cut it right in half. And when you do that, you get 45.5 degrees. And this angle here would be 45.5 degrees. And that's number 13. Now, numbers 14, 15, and 16 are actually the exact same thing again. They have pictures of some fans, but it's done the exact same way. It looks like, if you look carefully in your book, 87 degrees, there's a blue line going all the way across. So 87 degrees is the whole angle, and the directions do say that QS cuts the angle right in half. So if QS cuts that angle right in half, then the measurement of this angle, they want to know the measurement of this little angle and this little angle. So I'm going to take 87 and cut it in half. That's going to be 43.5. And that means this angle over here is also 43.5 degrees. Okay, number 15. The whole entire angle right here is 180 degrees. And QS is going to cut that right in half. And so they want us to find the measurement of this little angle here and this little angle here. So we're going to take 80 and divide it in half. If you do that correctly, you'll get 90 degrees for this little angle and 90 degrees for this angle over here. Moving on to number 16. 120 degrees is the entire angle all the way across. QS cuts that 120 degrees right in half. So with that in mind, they want us to find the measurement of this little angle here and this little angle here. So we take 120 degrees and we cut it in half. And this angle here is 60 degrees, and this angle here is 60 degrees. Moving on to numbers 17 through 22. Now, 17 through 22 is a little different. They're giving us one of the little angles now, and they want us to find the whole angle all the way across. And then they want us to state whether that big angle is acute, right, obtuse, or a straight angle. So let's go ahead and tackle these and see how we do. A little different, so please pay attention. Okay, for number 17, excuse me, 22 degrees is this little angle right here, and we are told in the directions that BD cuts the big angle right in half. So if that does cut the big angle in half, and this little angle is 22 here, then this little angle right here also has to be 22 degrees. So what's the whole angle all the way across? We'll add those two together, and you'll get 44 degrees for the whole big angle. And is that acute, obtuse, right, or straight? That's an acute angle. Okay, moving on to number 18. All right, 45 degrees is this little angle here, and BD does cut this whole big angle right in half. So if that's true, and this little angle is 45, then this little angle right here has to be 45. So they want to know, what is the measurement of the whole angle all the way across? Well, 45 plus 45 would be 90 degrees. And is that acute, obtuse, right, or straight? Well, that would be a right angle. All right, moving on to number 19. 38 is the angle that runs from here to here. BD does cut the big angle right in half, and so if that's the case, and this angle here is 38, that means this angle right here is 38 degrees. And so if they're both 38, I want to find the whole angle going across. 38 plus 38 would be 76 degrees. Is that acute, obtuse, right, or straight? Well, that's going to be an acute angle. All right, moving on to number 20. BD is an angle bisector. They tell us that in the directions. It cuts the angle in half. So if it truly cuts the angle in half, then that means this angle here is 80, and that means this angle over here is also 80. So if this angle is 80 and this angle is 80, then the whole angle all the way across, 80 plus 80, has to be 160 degrees. And of course, we call that an obtuse angle. Number 21, this little degree here is 17, and we do know from the directions that BD, this line right here, this ray right here, does cut the big angle right in half. So if that's the case, and this angle here is 17, that means this angle right here is also 17. So the whole angle all the way across would be 17 plus 17, which would be 34 degrees. 34 degrees, of course, is an acute angle. All right, moving on to number 22. This little angle here is 73, and BD does divide the big angle right in half. And so if that's the case, we know that if this little angle here is 20, I think it's 73. Let me look. Did I say 23? It's 73. If this little angle here is 73, then this little angle right here is 73. So what's the whole angle all the way across? Well, 73 plus 73 would be 146 degrees. And of course, we call that an obtuse angle. An obtuse angle. Okay. Moving on to numbers 28 through 30, the last three, and we're finally done with the homework assignment. They want us to solve for the variable. Now, in the directions, they do tell you that MK is an angle bisector. That means MK is dividing this big angle into two equal angles, okay? So we know this angle here is congruent to this angle here. So if that's the case, I can definitely say that 54 equals y minus 29. Now I'm going to bring the negative 29 over, and when I bring that over, it's going to become a positive 29, and my negative 29 is gone, and I'm left with y over here and 83 over here. So the answer is 83. Y equals 83. Number 29. We do know by the directions that MK is an angle bisector. That means it cuts the big angle in half, so we know this angle here is congruent to this angle here. So I can really state that 3z excuse me, plus 4 does equal 25. Now I'm going to solve for z, so bring the 4 over. And when I bring the 4 over, I'm obviously going to make it a negative 4. Cross this off. And now I'm left with 3z equals 21. And now divide both sides by 3, and z equals 7. Z equals 7. And then number 30, once again, MK is an angle bisector. It cuts this big angle right in half, so that tells me this angle here and this angle here are congruent. So I can definitely state that 8x minus 13 equals 75. Now to solve for x, bring the 13 over. When you bring it over, it becomes a positive 13. Thus, it's gone over here. So I'm left with 8x equals 88. Now divide both sides by 8, and x equals 11. I hope this homework help video has helped you find your mistakes. Please keep working hard. It's very, very important. Do your homework. Check your answers in the back of the book. Or if they're evens, check them on the help video, and continue to work hard.